M0FXB, welcome to my channel and my videos on the ICOM ID-52. 0FXB, so should I buy an ICOM ID-52? So it's a good question. Now this is an ICOM ID-51plus 2. You can see it's a smaller radio with a smaller screen. It does have terminal mode, access mode, but you need a special cable, OPC2350. Now, I do really like the fact that it is a smaller radio. That's probably the reason I'll keep this radio. It's nice and easy to slip into my pocket. The 52 is quite a beast, quite a big radio, and you would be very wary of dropping this item because it's so heavy. Well, it feels so big and heavy in the hand. You feel like it would crack if you dropped it. Now, I have actually dropped this one quite hard from a height, and it didn't break, which it almost bounced, and I was very pleased with that. I'm not sure if I'm confident of the same thing here. The speaker sound on both of these is very good. Yes, the larger color screen on the 52 is very nice, and you can have it black or white. And here it is in white. The screen, reading the screen on the ID-51 radios is quite, it isn't easy on the eyes. If your eyes aren't great, you need your glasses. So I wouldn't say that it's great. Other things though, they both have GPS. The 52 has Bluetooth. There's no Bluetooth in the 51. They both have SD cards and they both use DR mode, and as far as I can see using it, it works well on both radios. Here's some audio.
Very good morning anyway, trust you well.
This is an analog station. He's a bit weak in. Let's try the 52.
But low, and there's possibly a wee bit of break. I'm not sure whether that's the DMR from all-star to DMR conversion, but your audio is...
That was a digital station. I'd say the speaker is probably louder on the 52, I would say. The 52, you can charge it using a micro USB, and it does have a micro USB interface and has CIV functions. But so does the 51plus 2 does have CIV functions. You can't have a black screen on the 51. They both do dual band. Hold down this. Let's have a look at the band that each radio covers. We'll go to band select here in the quick menu. So it's covering, I'll just zoom in on this so you get an idea. Now let's have a look at the 51. So a lot less showing on the band select section. Possibly there is in receive, possibly maybe you can receive more, but this is what my radio is showing now. The other difference would be the scope. So let's go menu, let's get some activity on here. With a bit of luck, let's turn the scope on. Menu, we'll go to scope. There's your scope. So obviously that's, to me, the scope, the Bluetooth, the color screen is probably the main feature of this radio. Let's turn this down. Now there is a band scope on the 51. Click enter, continuous sweep. There's your band scope. So there's quite a difference to the experience. One of the big changes with this radio is that with the 52 you can receive D-Star on A and B simultaneous. So if I go to dual band here on both radios and then put the B section into DR mode, I think it's sensible to turn off the scope. So if I select two different hotspots, so we've got DR mode on A and the B, open spot on the top section, pi star bottom. Now, there's no activity now, but you will hear both at the same time, and I'll do a video showing that later. And that is excellent. That is like 2 D-Star radios in one set. So that may be the reason. I know they're using an ID-52plus chip. So that is a massive plus for this radio. So, you know, Bluetooth, color screen, dual D-Star receives simultaneous audio. Even the FT5, you can't hear 2 at the same time. I'm sure they will all catch up eventually, but the 52 is the first one to do that. The layout is very similar for both radios. The buttons are very, very similar. Yeah, they're different. They've added functions on different buttons, but generally it feels the same when you're using it. It's just bigger version in your hand. They both use the 51 battery, which I think is a good. I think it's a good idea. It's a good battery. I choose to get the BP307 because I've got a couple of 51s, the 52 and the 705. So it makes sense to me to have at least one that is a bit super duper that I can use when I want to, and they unclips very easily. The firmware upgrade on the 52 is like the 705. It's very easy. Importing and exporting files, backup, loading data, it's pretty much the same. You use your SD card and it works well, and you can find everything. I think it's dstar.org, is it? Everything you need is there, and it's constantly being updated. History wise, I mean, it's very good. You just hold the button up and you get your history. I think you do the same on this radio when you're in D-Star mode. There you are. You hold it up and you get your history, and then you've got it. You know, a lot of the selections for DR mode is the same. You've got the CD button here. Push it back. There's your some history there with good information. There's no receive history on this one, but it does work well. The 51 will receive dual band digital on A and B, but it just won't receive them at the same time. It will receive digital and analog at the same time. So you could be listening to your hotspot on the A band, and on the B section, your analog repeater or simplex analog channel. So that does work, and it works very well. It's just that the 52 will do D-Star on both. They've both got quite good scan functions. Both work well, if you ask me. Memory inputting, lots of groups you can use. The menu structure is different. I mean, look, there's the menu on the 52, the sort of grid style. The set menu is massive. I mean, it's just a very long menu. There's a lot to learn about this radio, but that is why you buy this radio, because it's just, it's like an encyclopedia. It's just a very big book on learning, and it's fun. As is the 51. Both radios, you need to put your call sign in to my station to be heard on digital voice, whether it's a hotspot or a repeater. And you can add a text message to go along with your call sign details. So when you're talking on your hotspot and people will receive you on their D-Star radio, they will get all your information and a message. But they have kept the format of DPRS. So both radios are DPRS. So APRS is the full main system. DPRS is what ICOM created to work with that system, and it will show up on APRS FI. They both have broadcast radios. There's this one. Let's see if I can turn it on here. Radio on, and they both work well.
So hot and well.
You got to remember, with the 51, even the first 51, they made an excellent radio. And if you've got one, for the sake of a couple of £100 these days to £250, you're better off keeping it, because it's such a good. The amount that they packed into that radio for the price is excellent. So I'm definitely choosing to keep both of mine. And it's good for testing. You know, you can test them. And when one's charging, you can grab the other one. So my choice is to keep them. And to turn the radio off, it's quite straightforward. Just push the quick button, off. Quick button, and it off, and the radio can be on at the same time as the handbands, and then I think the radio goes quiet when you hear the handbands. The 52 does 225 megahertz. As I said, they both do GPS. Let's have a look at the GPS 52. Go to GPS info. There's the satellites there. We've got a good lock there. Let's try the 51. Go to GPS. There's your position. So they've both got a lock. Let's go to the info. And there you are with the satellites. Now obviously that's not as clear. Nowhere near as clear as I know it's a bit blurry. It's obviously more appealing on the 52. And this is sort of what you're paying for. But what do they cost? Well, even this was £400 new. This is $520. So for an extra £120, if you look at it from a new price, well, yeah, you'd go for the 52. But remember, when you put it in your pocket, you're going to know it's there. That's, to me, is the biggest thing on this, is to get the bigger screen. And it is a nice screen and works really well. They made the whole radio bigger. But sat on a desk in your shack next to your ICOM 7300, you've got the full lineup. Your 7300 is covering HF 6 and 4. You've got everything else on this, and you've got D-Start, colour screen and full GPS. Battery life, well, yeah, to me it's really of busy use. This is, you're not even going to get 3 hours. So you do need a spare battery, but I would say you need a spare battery for any modern radio. You need a spare battery. The battery on this is, with low use, you get 7 or 8 hours actually. And if it was very low use, I think you'd get 6-7 hours, probably a bit more if you're very careful with your settings, GPS, all that kind of stuff. Both these radios run the RS, is it M1A app for sending photographs and for using maps to enter digital repeater settings directly into the radio at the touch of a screen on your Android or iOS phone. So that's quite handy, but this one needs a cable to do that, where the 52 would do it via Bluetooth. So that's quite a biggie. There's another app called ST, I think it's 4001. Look on ICOM, and you can send a photograph direct from your phone into the ID-52. Pretty sure you can't. I don't think you can send it into the actual radio. Possibly you could send it to the app. Not sure on the 51. I have to look that one up actually, but I know you can do it on the 52 and the ICOM 705. So yeah, there are similarities with the 52. There are a lot of similarities to the ICOM 705 when you use it. It feels similar. But they've been very clever. It's almost like a hybrid of the 705 and the 52, because the button layout and the shape and the design of this is similar to the 51 as well. So I think it's quite a clever design that they've chosen. You've got your LEDs up here, which changes colour as well, and you've got an LED here, which changes colour. I think it would have been nice if they added another LED. That would have been nice. Screen brightness, well, they're both not brilliant, but I agree that it's easier on the eyes. You've got a bigger screen here. I've had this on full brightness, and it's in the sun. You can read it, but it's not great, but you can read it. At least you can change from black to white and see which one works better with your eyesight. You can mute the subband. The 52 definitely has many settings for sounds. They both have speech announcement, so hold down the quick button on the 52.
M0FXBP.
You can decide in the settings what you want it to announce.
145.61875 megahertz. FM narrow 34.40 megahertz.
So they both do that, which I think is excellent. Both radios are not touchscreen. They're both controlled by this toggle system here in the middle and the middle button. Audio reports for both radios are very good. Scan function, you hold down the mode button and you've got these options here. Both very similar, I would say. To change the power, you can just hold down the low button here for power change. 51, I'm pretty sure you hold down the VF button. It says low here, so I'm guessing there's a setting there for changing the power. Yeah, it's quite small to see, but see it says low 1 there. You hold down the thing, it changes to low 2, mid and high. High you see nothing, which is 5 watts. I know that mid is 2.5 watts. So yeah, really you have to decide if it's worth the upgrade. You know, get a part exchange of a few £100 for your 51. Put that towards the £520 required for this. I mean, it's a radio you'll keep for years, I'm sure. I don't think they're going to replace this one for, my guess is 3 to 5 years. 51 is just excellent radio. Put it in your pocket, take the dog for a walk, and it will work very well. You're not going to be able to Bluetooth a headset to this. You're going to need a wired set for this. This you're going to be able to Bluetooth the correct headset that's recommended. The turning knobs on the top are similar. Both feel fine. Like I said, it's, you know, it's just bigger. You know, this is smaller. So 7.3 helps you make your mind up whether you want the 52 or the 51 or have them both. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. 7.3, all the best.